History remembers the ark. History remembers the flood. History remembers Noah. But heaven remembers someone else. A woman whose faith was never written in verses, but was written in obedience. A woman whose name was not recorded, but whose sacrifice was eternal. The wife of Noah. This is not just her story. This is a story of silent faith. Because sometimes the greatest believers are the ones no one applauds. The world she lived in was broken. Violence filled the streets. Corruption ruled society. Wickedness became normal. Truth was mocked. Righteousness was ridiculed. God was forgotten. And in the middle of this darkness, Noah's wife raised her children. She taught faith in a faithless generation. She taught obedience in a rebellious culture. She taught purity in a polluted world. She lived quietly, but she believed deeply. One day, her husband came home changed, not excited, not joyful, burdened, serious, heavy. God had spoken to him, not to the village, not to the elders, to one man. God spoke of judgment. God spoke of water from the sky. God spoke of destruction. God spoke of an ark. And in that moment, her life divided into two futures. Follow God or follow the crowd. Faith is easy when it is popular, but her faith was lonely. Neighbors mocked her. Friends abandoned her. Family questioned her. Your husband is mad. There has never been rain like this. This makes no sense. But faith is not built on sense. It is built on trust. And she chose trust. She was not alone in her obedience. She was a mother, a builder of generations. She raised 3 sons, Shem, Ham, Japheth, 3 sons born into a corrupt world, but raised in a righteous home. 3 sons surrounded by wickedness, but trained in obedience. And those sons were not alone. They were married. 3 daughters-in-law joined her faith journey. Women who left their families, left their cultures, left their comfort, to follow a strange obedience, to believe a strange message, to trust a God the world had rejected. So it was not just one woman believing. It was a household of faith, a family of obedience, a lineage of trust. While Noah built the ark, she built endurance. While Noah lifted wood, she lifted faith. While Noah followed instructions, she followed obedience. She managed a home under pressure. She raised sons under ridicule. She preserved peace under chaos. She carried faith under mockery. She did not preach sermons. She lived one. At night, when no one was watching, fear spoke, doubt whispered, questions arose. What if this is wrong? What if this fails? What if we lose everything? But faith answered, not with proof, but with trust. Because faith is not the absence of fear, it is obedience in the presence of fear. Then the day came, the animals arrived, the sky changed, the air grew heavy, and God opened the door. The same people who mocked now watched in silence. She held her children. She looked at the ark. She looked at the crowd. She chose obedience, not because she saw rain, but because she trusted God. 8 souls. That is all that entered the ark. Not a nation, not a city, not a generation. 8 people. Noah, his wife. Shem and his wife. Ham and his wife. Japheth and his wife. 8 souls preserved by obedience. 8 lives protected by faith. 8 destinies saved by trust. When the rain fell, it was too late to believe. Faith had already chosen. Obedience had already moved. Trust had already acted. Inside the ark was safety. Outside the ark was regret. She was not saved by luck. She was saved by obedience. When the waters settled and the door opened, she stepped into a new beginning. The old world died, but faith lived. Obedience lived. Trust lived. She entered the ark as a mocked woman. She exited as a preserved woman. Her obedience became legacy. Her faith became foundation. Her trust became history. You may not be building an ark, but you are obeying God in a world that mocks obedience. You may not see the storm, but you feel the pressure. And if God told you to move, move. If God told you to stay, stay. If God told you to trust, trust. Because obedience is always safer than public approval, and faith always preserves what mockery tries to destroy. She believed when the world mocked, and her belief saved a generation. If this story inspired you, subscribe for more untold Bible stories hidden between the lines.